Okay, so quick channel update. I reached 200 subscribers, and it looks like so in January 2024. That's a new series. I'm going to be doing like a Throwback Thursday. We'll be doing all the comics I got January 2021. Now I'm probably just gonna do it just to trades, or I will not include. Like I'll just include the trades. It's entirely possible I sold some of the single issues of comics. Trades I hardly ever sell, so those should always be there. Um, Probably not gonna go back to 20. I haven't until January to figure it out, but no promises if I will even go back that far. I probably will because it's three. I think each and every month has at least 3 weeks in it. I think February has at least or whatever. I don't remember exactly, but that's all I'll do. And the reason for why I'm doing that is because those videos get buried, and there's even like last year's books. It's entirely possible no one's seen that video because they don't know where to look for it. You go swipe, and then so I understand what that is. And then what I'll do is I'll put all those in a playlist, and then by next year you'll have all of them in that playlist. So that's the new one. That's a new series I'm planning on doing, and it's kind of cool because in May I'll be like doing a lot. You see a lot of books, regardless of what I get for my birthday in May. And by books I mean comics, obviously. But without further ado, let's get into comic reviews. As a quick channel update, I'll make a post about it too, on it too. But without further ado, let's get into the comic reviews. First one up is Bloodborne Volume 2. This one, I liked just as much as the first. Very fast paced, but very there's a lot going on in this book. I feel like I could read this book backwards, and I would still like not completely backwards. I'm sure it's gonna have a definitive ending, but I could read this in any order pretty much for the most part, and I wouldn't know. Like I could do Volume 2, Volume 1, Volume 4, Volume 3, and it wouldn't be any different. But I retain some information, of course, like as I do, but it's like, and then it's introduce this, and it's like, oh, wait, where does this introduce? It's not, but it's not a deal breaker. Again, it's very fast paced, so you like, it's just a very good book, and I do like it. I'm used to that. Like Last Squad was very much like that. I think it's one of Ali Cott's best books. I think anyone who doesn't like Ali Cott's writing should at least read that. So I can say, at least if I want Ali Cott book I liked. For me, I actually I reread Secret Avengers, and I completely changed my opinion on it. I didn't like it that much the first time I read it. The second time I loved it. So it doesn't that writer for me at least. That not with Bloodborne, but I probably do need to give him a second chance with some books. I don't think a book the first time read it by him. I'll give it a second chance. One of those things. So I can understand why people don't like his writing. It's I guess I was trying to say. Livewire Volume 1 by Livewire Volume 1 by Vita Ayala. A surprisingly good book from Vita Ayala. It wasn't too like on the nose. It was an actual book. Now it's somewhat basic, but I was still intrigued. I still got Volume 2, and I'm gonna be getting Volume 3. It's a 3-volume series, and honestly, it's one of the best Valiant books ever. Just because I have not read anything by Valiant I've actually liked. So maybe it's the Wars authors still have the best books from Valiant Comics, which is kind of insane to think about. I've not read enough from Valiant to give them an actual opinion, but just everything I've read by them, which is, I would say, at least 5 to 7 books I've not liked. So, judging by those 5 to 7 books, I've not read anything I really liked. This is as close as I got. And I like the Tim Seeley book, which is insane to me to think about, because I haven't liked anything Tim Seeley has written. But it is pretty basic, somewhat, but it's still intriguing, and I would recommend getting this book at a discount, like half off. But yeah, what's the actual price? Oh, not $10. So yeah, it's for $10. That's worth it, even though it's only 4 issues. And see if you like it. If you like it, then cool. You can see along with the book. Much like with Image Comics, their Volume 1s are $10, which is kind of nice. The Image Comics seems to be a bit of a trendsetter. I don't know if it's an actual trendsetter, though. So it was Livewire, and then said that about that, and I forgot something I forgot to mention, but no, it wasn't anything I forgot to mention. Because Vita Ayala, I have not read anything by her I've absolutely hated, but that's because I don't have anything that I need to try and find her Children of the Atom at my local library, or maybe even put in a request. Because I do want to check out like some books I will not to hate read, obviously, just to check it out, see if I like it, see how I feel about it, just to see all the fuss is about. Survival Street. Well, I believe I recommend most of these. This is as close as it gets to a not recommend. And it's a shame because I was really anticipating this book too. But this book is as subtle as a baseball bat to the face and twice as painful. It is extremely unsubtle. You know exactly what they're going for. You know exactly what politics they lean on, what side of the argument they lean on. And, it's their opinion, their political beliefs, but I believe if I had anything that, you have anything different from these guys, they don't want you to be a customer anymore. And it's one of those books. But I do recommend checking it out because there is certain points in this book that were interesting. I would say the story itself is need a bit more subtlety put into it. Maybe they got someone like, I don't even know. But if they got someone that actually knew how to do subtle, maybe Garth Ennis, honestly. They got him to do it, that'd be perfect. But they probably wouldn't agree to Garth Ennis's political beliefs. But it was good. I don't mind when a comic has like different beliefs than I do or whatever. It's fine as long as it's a good story. Like Get Out is I agree with their politics for the most part, but Get Out is a good example of political commentary done right. Even Us is, and it's one of those movies that, like, you may not agree with the way they say, like, oh, well, I don't know anybody like that. I think it's a bit overblown, but it's still a good story, and it's still, like, it makes sense to why they believe that way. It's a pretty, worldwide belief to end racism, at least for Get Out's case. That, yeah, it's obviously something we should do, and you can make the argument, well, it's not as bad as I think it is, and yada, 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 and yeah, you could be right about that, but it is one of those things where it's like, this is about just way too unsubtle. Like for example, if Get Out was super unsubtle, I would be saying the same thing about Get Out as I was trying to say, regardless of how I feel about what they're saying. And if they're unsubtle about it and it's really annoying, I'm gonna point that out regardless. God is Dead Volume 2. Very good, just as good as Volume 1, if not better, because if there's no issue, the first issue I actually liked. But they have all the backups at the end of this book, and I don't know why. And I didn't know that until the end, because I was confused. I was like, why is chapter 12 so long? And I went to the end, I was like, wait, why is this here? Why did they say it was like Sex and Death, whatever, I think was the backups? And I was like, what's this? Why is this at the end? Is this part of chapter 12? And I actually looked up how many pages chapter 12 had, and I was like, wait, that's 16 for that chapter, and it can't be more than that, because I was doing all that, and I was like, oh, it's like the backups at the end. They didn't do that for Volume 1, but Volume 1 probably didn't have any backups. So hopefully Volume 3 doesn't, or but I'll be well aware either way. But yes, Volume 2. Oh, one more thing, so tomorrow we'll be getting Omnibus Friday, and to get the video uploaded. Saturday, you'll get the comic reviews, and Sunday, I was gonna do a channel update on Sunday. Maybe I'll make my channel update its own video. Maybe not, but I think a post would be just fine. Or maybe look at 200 subscriber celebration kind of thing. Maybe a live stream. I don't know, but yes, that will be. But at least videos Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so 3 days in a row at least. But Suburban Glamour, very good, but pretty standard. Nothing like. I feel like the 4-issue format did not do this book justice at all, but it was still interesting enough, and I would like to see a Volume 2 of the series, but not exactly anticipating it. It's probably honestly, Jimmy McKelvey is a better artist than he is a writer. It wasn't terrible. I didn't absolutely hate it. If someone said they absolutely hated it, I would be like, explain yourself. But I thought it was pretty good. It was just very standard, and it ended pretty quickly because there's only 4 issues. I think at the very least there should have been 8 issues. Ironically enough, the next one is Wicked and Divine. This is Volume 5. And like I keep saying, this series is absolutely phenomenal. I love every minute of it. There's some slower issues, but that's only because this is a very fast-paced book. A lot of things happen in this book, and it's very fast-paced. But one thing I will always hate about this series, and I skipped the issue, so this is a huge non-issue, but this. Why the magazine? No one... Some people will read it, but I will never read this issue again. I read it the first time I ever read the series, and that was the one day, that was the day where I was like, I don't care. I am skipping this issue next time I read it, and I did. Because I've read this series about 3 or 4 times. Maybe even 5. But it's still, don't get me wrong. I would still give this series the same 9.5 out of 10. I'll be trying, if I can remember to do it, I will do at the end. I'll do a, to conclude it, I'll do a out of 10 score. But I'm trying, it's a bit strained for time here, but I'll try to remember. No, me, I'm going to forget. Red Mother, Volume 1, very good. Jeremy Huan is it's a criminally underrated writer, and this is a damn good story. Very interesting, very indie. It's just like everything I like about independent comics is here. And it's not quite on the levels of even something like Wicked and Divine, but it's still very good. Like, it's still passable. I would still say $14.99. Is that how much this is? Why is the price tag here? It's so weird. Is it inside the book? I don't know, but it's worth the price tag. It's very good. Check it out. I recommend it. But it didn't get the way I'm saying it, you might think it's better than it actually is. It's still very good, don't get me wrong, but it's like, there's a few minor issues, but nothing too bad. Like, I think even then, like, I wouldn't say anything in that book was all that terrible. So this one is an exception. So you will see one of the books I got. So last week when I did Candy Poker again, so I was able to go to the library twice within 2 weeks. So I got some of the books that I'll be showing off today, or recording today, uploading on Saturday. So one of them was Coda Volume 2, and I already had Coda Volume 1. Now, this is one of those rare exceptions where I would technically be reviewing each book on its own. Technically. Now, Volume 1 started out very slow. Half of this book was extremely slow, and I was like, yep, that's exactly what I remember from Coda. And it's when I came up with my, I was kind of like a theory I had, but it was confirmed once I read the first 2 chapters of this book. And I will still say it, Simon Spurrier is a wannabe Rick Remender. If you've read any of his Boom Studios work like Coda or The Spire, read it again and think of it as being written by Rick Remender, who isn't trying as hard as Rick Remender is, but only because how good of a writer Rick Remender is. And then you'll probably see it the way I see it. But as it got along in the second half of this book, and with Volume 2, it got really interesting, and I really like this book. So, overall review, I would say recommend. Because it's only 2 issues, and honestly, issue 1 was a lot. It was like a 40-page, it's like double the size for issue 1. But your mileage may vary. Near My Condition, him just absolutely loved this series. And while even after Volume 2, I don't like as much as he did, I would still recommend it. Transmetropolitan, Volume 7. It's a damn good series. Does this, unlike Survival Street, despite how you feel about the politics, this does political humor right. This is like, we need this comic back. You know, we need to constantly have this comic in circulation. Marvel has been doing their like always available kind of thing. I forget exactly what they call it, but basically the gist of it is these are books that will always be in print. Transmetropolitan needs to do that for GC and have Transmetropolitan always in print. Along with the next series, Preacher, my absolute favorite comic of all time. I've read this 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7 times, and each time I feel just the same amount of emotions. Not as strongly as I did for the first time I read it, obviously. It's the first time, and I was thankful enough to not have anything spoiled in the series for me, so it was like a surprise. I was surprised, but it's just as enjoyable as it is the first time. It's an insanely good comic. It gets a seal of approval, best comic of all time, and that has not changed yet. I don't think it ever will. Green Arrow, a surprisingly passable New 52 book. You're probably if you're a huge Green Arrow fan, you'll probably be pissed off because it's not your Green Arrow. But I think if you are willing to think of it as a alternate version of Green Arrow, you'll probably like this book. It's not like spectacular or anything. It's just passable. Get this at a discount for free. You won't feel like you wasted money. It's just it's hard to explain how I feel about these series without saying that like. But I think the best way to say it is that I'm a very lenient reader. I don't really mind as long as the story is interesting. I'll still give it a pass. But if and if it's not, then I won't get a pass. And then of course like with Survival Street, if it's super unsettled, then I won't give it a pass. That kind of thing. But overall, I did like this book. And I'm kind of ashamed. I'm kind of annoyed they didn't have volumes 2 and 3, but they might. For what I mean by that, you'll see. For when I go over the books that I got today, or again, recording it today, uploading it for Saturday. I don't want to do 2 videos a day. I may or may not. Maybe I break that. You know what? I might just break that for my 200th video, for 200 subscriber. Milestone. I'll give you 2 videos today. Maybe. I just love doing too much. One day. Flash Volume 6. Pretty good. It's not as good as Brian Book Lotto's run, but pretty damn close. It's a close, and Brian Book Lotto and other guy's run. I know who the other guy is. My dog is barking, so I forget. I just lost completely lost the train of thought. French Meaningful. It's not as good as their run, but it's just about as close as it's gotten so far. It's a worthy follow-up. Future's End. Surprisingly good. I actually really like this book. Now, I mean really like this as in everyone else seems to hate this book, and I was like, it's actually interesting. A lot of very interesting ideas, and most of them are pulled off well. It's because there's a lot of ideas. You're sometimes like, wait, where is this character introduced? What's going on here? I mean, but you're still intrigued. You're like, okay, so this is what's going on. They don't like throw you right in the middle of the battle and expect you to remember everything you learned in issue 1. No, they're like, okay, here's what we're doing, going here. I was like, okay, I don't remember half before, but okay, we're going here now. So it's very consistently, it's very consistent. You know what's going on for each issue, but it's a lot, And I feel like, but if this is what we get instead of 50,000 tie-ins that need to be read, that's fine. I know they have one-shots, but that's one-shots. That's part of their respective series. So Batgirl got one, Flash got one. I was actually in that recent volume I read, that volume 6 I just reviewed. So those they weren't necessary to read after New 52. You could read those with the respective series. That's what tie-ins should do. It's a respective series reacting to Future's End, and that's what they need to do. Not just have be like, oh yeah, you need to read this series. You're not reading right now. It's like, great. Batman Reptilian is just as enjoyable as it's ever been. This is a damn good series, and I think each and every time I find something else that I really like about this book. The artwork is amazing. It's an incredible book, and I almost want to purchase this myself. Now on to the Star Wars books. So we will do. So I'm going to rank them. I'm going to put them in order, and so the middle one probably won't be the middle one. No, actually kind of will be. All right. So here we go. All right. So for the best Star Wars book out of these 6 is still Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader. It's an absolutely incredible series. If you are skeptical about Disney Star Wars comics, read this and read Jason Aaron's Star Wars. They are both equally good, and they both complement each other. At the end of Volume 1, they have the same ending. Star Wars Shattered Empire was a surprisingly good book, and I came out really enjoying this book. It's surprisingly good. It's Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka continues to be a standout writer for me, who has not written anything I have not liked from the guy. Poe Dameron is pretty middle ground. I liked it a lot better than I did the first time, but it's still good. it's still passable. It's still, but I do recommend it more than I did the first time. Han Solo is alright, very middle ground Star Wars comics. And Princess Leia, what I did like a lot better than I did the first time, it's very forgettable. And not up to Mark Wade's, you know, it's Mark Wade, he should write better than that kind of thing. It's not up to the standards. Okay, last few books here. Spider-Gwen, Volume 6. Can Jason Latour just stay as a Spider-Gwen writer? Because I'm very skeptical to read the follow-up series. I feel like it won't be as good, and I'll be disappointed. This is a phenomenal series. Absolutely phenomenal. It does start out pretty, not slow, but the character gets it's really annoying at the first, but at the first, like, volume, I would say. But I still liked it, you know, I still liked the first volume, but just, the character gets a bit annoying. It's kind of like, in that, like, kind of like, over, like, take that, you'll punch the face in your face. That kind of like that obnoxious kind of character. There's a point to it, but it gets obnoxiously obnoxious kind of thing. I get that's the point for characters. She's supposed to be like that, and kudos to her, I guess. Superior Iron Man Volume 2, still a standout series, still extremely underrated. Fantastic Four, Life Story. Starts out pretty damn slow. The first issue has a very bad case of first issue jitters, but it gets really good towards the end. But even then, it did not get... Spider-Man Life Story is still leaps and bounds above this book. But this is still... If you want to see Fantastic Four Life Story and you're not expecting too much, you'll come out really enjoying this book. I'm not even going to say anything other than that, because it needs to be experienced. It's worth the $24.99 price range. It's a pretty thick book. That's a weird smell to it, though. It was like a very strong smell. It's kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else had that same notice the same thing. Like, comic books have like a certain smell to them, but like it's kind of consistent. Okay, my dog is barking. All right, Ultimate Galactus Trilogy. She's so annoying. Like, it's like, and she barks at nothing too. And I'm trying like, I'm thinking like, is my ride here? But probably not. Okay, then we have Ultimate Galactus Trilogy. Very good, but it's Ultimate Comics good. You know, it's just like, it's not boring, so I liked it kind of thing. This is out of print, so if you get it at its original price tag of $34.99, I'd say it's worth it. Check it out if you like the Ultimate Comics universe, but you like, and I mean like almost everything from it, because it has the best and the worst of Ultimate Comics. Not too much the worst. It's sometimes it's a bit like slow and kind of like, you know, it reminded me of Ultimate Comics, and like, but I didn't like, I used to not like, well, you know, not used to not like, but I kind of like, and the complaints people have about it, but I still liked it. I liked it a lot better than I have the first few times I read it. I finally got to where I liked it, you know, liked it, consistently liked it. Okay, so now for your little, out of 10 reviews, hoping my iPad does not run out of storage. Even though I have plenty of storage, they probably would say no. Okay, so Bloodborne, I will give an 8 out of 10. Livewire, a 6 out of 10. Remember, 6 out of 10 still means it's good. Survival Street, 4 out of 10. God is Dead, Volume 2, 8 out of 10. Suburban Glamour, 6 out of 10. Wicked and Divine, 9.5 out of 10. Red Mother Volume 1, 8 out of 10. Sorry, I was like, wait, did I go over the volume of what Wicked and Divine was? I don't remember. Probably didn't, but I said what it was first, and hopefully you guys will know by the, so volumes 1, I did cover. Volumes 1 and 2 of Coda, I would give a 6.5 out of 10. Just because of how slow those first few H's are. But closer to a 7 and a 6. Transmetropolitan, 9.5 out of 10. Preacher gets a 10 out of 10. Easily. Green Arrow, 5.5 out of 10. Flash, 7.5 out of 10. It's volume 6 for Flash, and volume 1 for Green Arrow. Future's End, I would give a 7.5 out of 10. Both close to an 8, because I gave the same score as Flash. Batman Reptilian, 8.5 out of 10. 9 out of 10. We'll do 9 out of 10. Alright, now Star Wars books. Darth Vader, 9.5 out of 10. Jason Aaron Star Wars, 9.5 out of 10. Star Wars Shattered Empire, 8.8 out of 10. Poe Dameron, 6 out of 10. Han Solo, 5 out of 10. Princess Leia, 5 out of 10. Spider-Gwen Volume 6, 9 out of 10. Superior Iron Man, 9 out of 10. Fantastic Four Life Story, 7.5 out of 10. Close to a 7 out of 10 than an 8. And then Ultimate Galactus Trilogy, 7 out of 10. That is it.